So I used to make 3D models for that one shooter game called Fortnite, yeah? Well, I've experienced something that made me shiver to the bone. Something no one has mentioned before on the web. Not even the employees at Epic. This what I'm about to tell you is how I quit working at Epic Games, Inc. So you know how that whenever there's a new season of the game, it gets a trailer, right? Well, wait, before I even started making the first season, a very talented animator there constructed a rather long trailer for it. This was unusual since we weren't asked to make a battle royale version of the game or a trailer from the boss yet, but I didn't think much of it. The animator came up to my desk to ask me to make a few models for him so that he could bring life to them when he put it all in the animation software. I accepted this peculiar request and asked him what the models would look like in very specific detail. He requested, "Oh, I wouldn't need much, but just give me a male character, not too old, and I asked impatiently, "Just here." He handed me a folded piece of paper. I was curious to what was on it, so I carefully unfolded it. In the paper was what seemed to be a rough sketch on how he wanted the character to look as. I was puzzled at the sight of it. It was the sketch of a blonde male man, much similar to the default character they have now, with whitish eyes without pupils. Its clothes were so simple, it was as if the character wasn't part of the game. "Oh, I said as I tried to look further in the rough sketch. "Is there anything else you need?" "3 tall buildings would do, and that's all." I sighed. "Okay," I said before turning my focus back to the bright computer screen. "Wait, I need to tell you one more thing." I snapped my eyes back at him. "Eh?" "I'm giving you a month to do all this," he instructed. "What? I need more time than a month. You don't have any idea how long this usually takes," I exclaimed. The animator made a cross face and ordered, "Don't care, get on with it." And so I did for the next 31 days. I presented the models to him through email when I was done and followed it with a message saying, "Happy?" The models looked sloppy and terrible, but that's what he wanted anyways. He replied back saying, "Yes, I'll show everyone the results when I'm done." For 4 weeks he hadn't come to work after he sent the email. All my coworkers figured he quit, so I decided to clean up his office. It was rather messy. Stuff was all over the place. I picked it all up and gave the office a few finishing touches. It was only until I noticed the computer. I glanced at it for a while until remembering about the trailer he was making. I decided to open up his computer and maybe check how horrible it was, since the models are sloppily made by me. Surprisingly, he didn't have a PIN or password to his computer, so it was easy to get into. A file was just there on the screen, and it was titled farewell.mp4. I shrugged, unexpected to what would be presented, and clicked. It was an abomination. The poorly made character was walking through the 3 tall buildings that I built for 5 minutes. There was no music or anything in the back. Sounds of silence, really. The look on the character's face was neutral. I thought that was it, but there was more. It went pitch black for 2 minutes, until cutting back to the blonde character. He was still doing his walk cycle, but his expression was different. His non-pupilled eyes were wider than before, and he started grinning from ear to ear. What was playing in the back was not silence, but loud whimpering. Everything around the character started to disappear until it hit 11 minutes. The screen once again goes black, revealing white text in binary code. I quickly run to pick up a pen and paper from his desk to write it down, but as I returned back to the screen, the computer already crashed. I was confused at the sight of this, but a little disturbed. The way he was grinning, the loud whimpering, and most importantly his eyes, were also ominous to me. I was basically frightened and decided to immediately leave his old office. I could have told people, but they probably would think I was a madman. For the rest of the day, farewell.mp4 was the only thing on my mind. The week after that, I was at home, half asleep on my couch with the TV still on, until something appeared on the news. Breaking news: Samuel Parker, world famous 3D animator, found dead. I was shocked. I couldn't seem to comprehend how this was possible. I mean, sure, he was very irritating at times, but how? I watched more into it, and he was run over by a car on purpose by someone unknown. The news reporter claimed that there have been witnesses of this case, and they've seen the face of the driver, and they sent police sketches to the department. The sketches flashed on the screen for a good 20 seconds. My jaw gaped wide open as they appeared. It was him! It looked exactly like the character I was commanded to make. It had its simply yet odd clothes, this blonde and spiky hair. And don't get me started on the eyes, it made me flinch. They were just as wide as tennis balls. What made the sketch even worse was the awfully wide grin. It was like it was calling out to me. I quit the very next day. My boss was furious, but it didn't matter. I headed over to my desk to pick up all the stuff I needed to bring back. But as I got all my items, there seemed to be a note on the table. I didn't remember leaving it there, so I picked it up. I turned it over and it read, "Dear Clifford Hathaway, it has been a blast having to work with you, but the time has come. I will, in fact, miss you and Jonesy. If you don't know, he's my creation, and you're his Frankenstein, the one that gave life to him. I hope you can find out the definition of the binary code." If you didn't quite catch it, it was 101. Have a good day and have fun with Jonesy. Careful though, he bites. Love, Samuel Parker.